Welcome to VGK Today, presented by MGM Rewards, a daily podcast bringing you an inside look at the Vegas Golden Knights' 2023 Stanley Cup playoff run. I'm Justin Russo with the Golden Knights on Thursday, April 27th, and the VGK have their first chance tonight to eliminate the Winnipeg Jets in Game 5 and advance to the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Vegas is coming off of 2 wins in a hostile environment in Winnipeg and is now looking to finish things off tonight back at the Fortress. But even with all the pressure of an elimination game, the team is still having fun. And yesterday after practice, Gary Lawless caught up with Alec Martinez for a fun chat about his rest day at home, his sense of humor, and his preparation for tonight's game. Take a listen.
Here with Alec Martinez in the Golden Knights dressing room right after Wednesday's practice, getting ready for Thursday's game. First of all, got off the plane yesterday and didn't have to come to the rink necessarily unless you were doing treatment. How'd you spend the day?
Just kind of laid low. Took a nap. Had a nice dinner. Just hung with my wife and the dogs, and hung in the backyard, and just tried to lay low and conserve energy. And that's important this time of year.
Dinner, glass of wine?
No wine. Just sparkling water. Got real crazy for a Monday night, had a nice meal. Had steak and what else did I have?
Crispy rice?
Some gluten-free pasta. No crispy rice.
Just some practice.
Yeah, just some crispy rice, spicy tuna. Relatively simple, clean, healthy.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a blue heeler that's half beagle, and then I have a labradoodle.
I had a German short-haired pointer she's passed now. She was a criminal genius. She would lure you into one area of the kitchen, fake she was going for food, and then go grab a plate from. Are your dogs like that, or are they well trained? Mine was not well trained.
They're very conniving, except the one loves to eat and the other one despises it for whatever reason. So that's really nice when she doesn't have anything in her stomach and we wake up to the gulping noise in the middle of the night, and inevitably she pukes because she doesn't have anything in her stomach. So that's really nice. But my Hank, the blue heeler, is very food driven. He's been known to sneak 2 breakfasts. My wife will get up early and feed the dogs, and then Hank will come up to me and act like he never had breakfast, and he'll get one from me too. So somewhere along those lines.
2 wins in Winnipeg. First of all, the atmosphere. You enjoy the atmosphere there?
Absolutely. You want to play in fun buildings. It's obviously a really, really loud building that their fans are really into it. I think if you channel it the right way, you can get a little juice out of it too. But this is the time of year that you want to play in as an athlete, and this is the most fun time of year, and the louder the building, the better.
I'm always struck by, within a team, kind of the relationships. I always see you talking to, I'm not suggesting you're old, but you've been around a little longer than some of the guys. But you have fun with the young guys too, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. In a lot of ways, I'm very much one of them, as they can. I might actually be more immature in multiple facets of life than they are, but.
Is that sense of humor? Is it you have an immature sense of humor? Is that what you're saying? Because you're a thoughtful guy as well.
I'd like to say that I got a little bit of both. I can throw a couple out there that might be slightly cerebral, but don't get me wrong. I am very fond of poop jokes, and that's about as bottom as you can get. So no pun intended. I like to identify with those guys and laugh and joke around with them. It keeps me young, and anytime you can share a laugh, it's beneficial.
We make a big deal out of certain people's celebrations, but I did notice you in particular when Amadio scored the overtime goal. You were kind of almost jumping up and down and shaking him, and you were very happy for him.
Oh yeah, I was fired up. Obviously for the circumstance, on the road. The way that game went down, to have a big goal, but then also, I've known Ammo for a long time, played together in LA, and he's a guy that I think is a really, really talented hockey player, and he found himself earlier this year in and out, and when he's been in, he's played awesome for us, and he's a really big asset to our team. So anytime you see a young guy score a big goal like that, I get pretty excited, and I have pretty terrible celebrations, but that's all right.
Well, we'll play some fun word association because you've got Zach Whitecloud and Nick Hague on either side of you, and they're kind of listening in. So when I say Zach Whitecloud, what comes to mind?
Cheap. Sorry, only child. I mean, BioSteel Hogger. Or no, I don't know. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I meant great guy.
Nick Hague.
Typical Toronto guy. T-Dot Beauty.
He's not really from Toronto, though. He's from Kitchener.
Oh, God, that's what he says, too. Yeah. I'm not from Winnipeg. I'm from Brandon. Like, how many times have I heard that the past 2 weeks? Well, I'm not from Detroit either, but I just say that I'm from Detroit. But
the only reason I'm not from Toronto, I'm from Peterborough, which is sort of equidistant away from Toronto, has Kitchener. So, and in my hometown, we hate Toronto. I don't know about Kitchener.
Oh, no, in all seriousness, both those guys, I mean, I consider them friends.
They're friends?
Yeah, we're just friends. No, I mean, I love these two guys. They, we were talking about earlier, laughing and joking with young guys, and these two keep me young. We certainly like to have our fun, obviously, and anytime I have an opportunity to throw a little jab at them, I'm going to take it, and you teed me up there, so saw an opportunity, had to take it,
Game 5 tomorrow. It's an opportunity. It's a challenge. It's what will be running through your mind most of tomorrow?
I mean, I think first and foremost, and at least in my experience, the fourth one's always the hardest to get. You fully expect them to come out and they're going to bring their A game, and we got to do the same thing. But I don't said this a couple times, but you obviously know the task at hand, but I try not to think about that too much and approach it like you would any other game. And I think that if you take care of the process and do things the way that you're supposed to and play the way that you're supposed to, then the odds are in your favor. So with that said, this is going to be a desperate hockey club tomorrow, and they're going to bring their A game. They pride themselves, I would say, in really good starts, and they've had those really good starts, so we're going to have to be ready for it.
We talked a lot about the process or the game that your group has to play in order to win, and we talked in Seattle at length. You kind of really explained, how if the forwards are back checking with that real fervor, it allows you guys the defensemen to stand up and really that takes away the rush, and it's very effective when you guys do it. It doesn't always happen. How do you make sure you start that way tomorrow night?
I mean, I think it's just how you approach the game. It's just, obviously we'll have reminders as a team, but it's on an individual to make sure, they're doing their job. But yeah, I mean, I think that it helps us a lot as D-men, to kind of squeeze not just them, who are a really good rush team that look to use their D a lot on the rush, and it helps us a lot if you squeeze them in neutral. It forces them to dump the puck, and then from there it's on us to do a good job of breaking it out. So it's not just the forwards back checking, but it's most definitely something you can tell we're playing well when we're connected like that, and connected as five and supporting each other and taking away their time and space.
Last night might have been the best night of the year so far. Just fantastic to sit outside in Vegas at this time of the year.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said at the beginning, I hung out with my wife and the dogs outside. It's nice coming from Winnipeg when it was pretty chilly up there, and to be able to come out here or come back here and sit outside and enjoy the sun a little bit. Get some vitamin D. It definitely helps you throughout the grind of a playoff series and a playoff run.
Enjoying it so far, the playoffs?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the funnest, most fun time of year. This is what you want to play in.
Last one. Do you have when you drive in, do you have a playlist? You have something that you listen to, or just whatever's around? NHL Network? What's in the car?
Certainly not NHL Network. I get enough hockey at the rink. I don't need to expose myself to even more on the radio. No, I don't think I necessarily have a particular. I bounce from here to there. Just kind of depends on the mood that I'm in. Sometimes it's a podcast if I'm listening to it. Sometimes it's rap. Sometimes it's rock. I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you, but it just kind of depends. I don't really. I think that the music that I listen to in the car on the way there most likely doesn't have a whole lot to do with how I perform that night. But you know what? Stranger things have happened. The universe works in mysterious ways, but I don't know how much of an impact it truly has. So I just keep it open.
This was fantastic. Thanks for opening up a little bit and sharing. I'm sure our fans will be really interested to hear Alec Martinez unplugged.
I'm not entirely sure. They might see my name and just, skip to the next episode.
I doubt it. Thanks a lot, Alec.
Thanks.
Well, never Alec. We always want to hear what Alec Martinez has to say, and I'm disappointed he feels that way, though he might just be trying to get out of talking to us in the future, so I guess that remains to be seen. But again, it's always fun to hear from Alec Martinez, a guy that has so much experience in this league, and he's going to be ready to go tonight for Game 5, looking for what he said is the toughest win to get in a series, that fourth and final win to eliminate the other team. So we'll see how the Knights are able to take it to the Jets tonight, and we'll see if they can pick up that final win to eliminate Winnipeg. And speaking of tonight's Game 5, I do want to remind you all that Vegas Golden Knights single-game tickets to the first round of the 2023 Stanley Cup playoffs are still on sale. You can secure your seat in the Fortress for tonight's Game 5 and cheer on the Knights as they look to win their first-round series against the Jets. A limited number of tickets are still available now at vegasgoldenknights.com, so be sure to grab yours and experience tonight's Game 5 live at T-Mobile Arena. And for those of you who do plan on making your way down to T-Mobile Arena for tonight's Game 5, I do have a traffic update for you. Tonight, Frank Sinatra Drive will be reduced down to one lane in each direction between Excalibur Way and Arena Drive. So if you typically take Frank Sinatra Drive to games at T-Mobile Arena, we suggest either arriving early and staying late if you can, or just taking a different route altogether. Of course, if you arrive early, you can arrive at least 4 hours prior to puck drop. That's when the parking garages will open, and you can enjoy some of the activations on Toshiba Plaza. There's going to be free VGK tattoos, both permanent and temporary, lots of music, games, and a lot more fun on Toshiba Plaza before the game, and the arena doors will open at 5:30 for you to get inside of T-Mobile Arena. And again, if you want to modify your route, really encourage you not to take Frank Sinatra Drive. It's going to be heavily congested tonight ahead of Game 5. Las Vegas Boulevard, probably going to be your best bet to get access to game day parking garages, but just be sure to use that Waze app, the Waze navigation app, to get the most up-to-date information on your route. That's going to be a great resource for you on your way to T-Mobile Arena tonight. So with all that good stuff out of the way about tonight's Game 5, I do want to take a second to remind you to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss a moment of the team's quest for the Stanley Cup right here on VGK Today. Tomorrow, Dan Duva and Gary Lawless join you for a post-game recap of Game 5 between the Winnipeg Jets and the Vegas Golden Knights. Justin Russo signing off for Episode 11 of VGK Today, presented by MGM Rewards.